Florida, 2005. I'm 14. Me and my family have moved to a new house in a rural neighbourhood. Place was great, all the neighbours were good people, the kind that would give you the clothes on their backs. They brought over some welcome gifts. Pretty standard stuff, homemade dishes and the like. After every one of them dropped off the stuff they had, I saw one of our neighbours, an older man around 50 with greying black hair and blue eyes, pull my dad aside to talk about something. Being the nosy little shit I was, I eavesdropped on the conversation. He started talking about how the area was nice and all that, but that stuff could get weird around here. Said that there were a lot of strange noises the other neighbours heard on the space behind our backyard. Apparently, the family to the left of us had seen something crawling over the privacy fence from our backyard about a month before we moved in. Said they were grilling out back when they heard the fence rattling like it was being grabbed and shaken. One of them went to investigate in case of squatters, aka peek over the fence. Old man gives the description the neighbour gave him. Amber coloured fur around the size of a Dalmatian but no tail. Dad chalks it up to some weird mutt living back there. Old man says to be careful, since there had been some stray dog sightings in the forest behind us. Afterwards, Dad asks me to go check out back to make sure there isn't anything back there now. Open the gate and see an oval-shaped hole in the ground about 1 foot deep and 4 feet wide. There's a bunch of leaves and amber hair in the centre, but it looks like it's been undisturbed for a while. No footprints in the dirt or signs of life like prey remains or crap. Tell Dad. He says since it looked old, we probably didn't need to worry. Been living there about a week now. There were some weird howls in the woods behind our house. Doesn't sound like a dog or anything else I'd ever heard. Kinda like a chimp's yell and a hissing cat mixed together. Go to backyard to see if there's anything back there. See a 4 foot tall mass of fur sniffing around the chicken coop. Its fur is the exact same colour as what I found in the hole, just as shiny too. The air smelled like a mix of rotting fruit, raw meat and stagnant water. I accidentally smack my elbow in the doorframe and it perks its head up to look in my direction. Its face looks like a mix between an orangutan and a deer. Has weird droopy ears that look like if you tried to turn a human's ears into a rabbit's. Lets out a shrill screech that sounds kinda like a cat yowling. Climbs a tree in the corner of the backyard, hops over the fence and books it into the forest. Close back door as quietly as possible. Book it upstairs and wake my dad up. Tell him that there was a monster in the backyard. He assures me that I was just seeing things wrong because it was so dark. He says if we fill in the little nest hole, spray the yard with something, it probably won't come back. Next day, Dad wakes me up so I can help him fill in the nest hole. We finish filling in the hole and my dad hands me a spray bottle full of some weed killer. He said if we masked its scent, it would be less likely to come back. Don't really know if there's any truth to that, but okay. Absolutely douse the perimeter of the fence in weed killer. Nothing happens for like 2 days. I'm home alone because my parents had to rush to go see Uncle in the hospital. Apparently he had a heart attack while working and was in the ECU. Before they leave, Dad gives me the key to the gun cabinet. Dad is kinda paranoid about someone possibly breaking in because we were new to the area, and although the neighbours were nice, he didn't want to take a chance. I've only shot a few times, but my dad taught me a lot. He says that if anything happens, go get the revolver in the bottom of the cabinet. I hug him and my mom and they leave. For most of the day, I just kinda laze around until 7 PM when I hear something scratching against wood. Go to the backyard, see the creature from a few nights ago trying to rip off the door to our chicken coop. I take a moment to soak in this thing's full appearance to be sure it's not a dog. It's on 2 legs, and I can see that it clearly has hands on its front limbs. They were beige and leathery looking, real bony and long too. Each finger had sharp little nails that were slightly curved upwards. If I had to guess, they were around 1 inch long. Its legs were very similar to a human's but covered in fur and a lot slimmer. Its feet were about 1 foot long and arched like a person's as well, but they had the same nails as the hands but larger. I closed the door quietly enough to where it doesn't notice as it's preoccupied with acquiring KFC. Sneak upstairs and unlock gun cabinet. Grab the revolver Dad told me to use and an entire 40 round box of .357 with it. Load 6 rounds into the cylinder. Rush back downstairs and open the back door just as the ape thing rips the chicken coop door off its hinges. Fire a round off and plug it in its left ass cheek. lets out one of the most blood-curdling screams I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. Still sounds like an ape and a cat mixed together, but at max volume and 10 feet away. It grabs one of the hens from inside the coop and chucks it at me. Poor bird barely misses hitting me and splats against the wall next to me, covering the outside lamp in blood. It lowers itself to all fours and tries to rush me. Before it gets within 5 feet of me, I fire off 3 more rounds and miss 2 of them but manage to peg it in the right arm. Arm starts bleeding like a faucet, and the thing looks like it's scared shitless. Hobbles away towards a tree and struggles to climb it in an attempt to escape. It's smearing blood all over the tree trunk, and it starts to make a hooting noise. Hear a rustling in the woods as I try to reload the revolver. Another one scrambles out the woods behind the house. New ape creature is grabbing the injured one and trying to drag it away from the yard. I finish reloading the revolver and fire all 6 rounds in quick succession. Hit the already injured one in the gut and get the new one in the hand and the leg. Miss other 3 shots. Reloading again, but they get away. Doubt the first one survived, but the second one would probably be okay. I slump down after the adrenaline from the encounter wears off. I'm breathing roughly and my heart feels like it's going to burst out of my chest. Hear neighbour's door open. They climb the fence to see what all the commotion is. Check me over to make sure I'm okay. Neighbour's family's mom stays with me for a moment, until old man neighbour comes through the backyard gate. Asks me to tell him what happened. I explain, and he tells me that although those things sound like something from a myth, he's seen his fair share of weird stuff. He asks me if we have a house phone, and I tell him yes. He asks me if I know either of my parents' phone numbers. I give him the number of my dad's shitty Motorola flip phone. He calls my dad and tells him a half-true explanation of what happened. Tells my dad that there was a black bear in the backyard and it broke into the coop, but that I shot it and it ran away. Dad says he'll be on his way to come pick me up. Ask old neighbour bro why he didn't tell the whole truth. Says that not everybody is keen to believe in that sort of stuff, and he doesn't want either of us to be seen as nutty. Old guy makes me something to eat at his house while we wait for my dad. Starts to tell me about how there's a lot of strange things in the world. Says that those things will probably leave us alone now, since they've been hurt so badly. Tells me to be careful from now on, and that if something happened while my parents were away, to come to him. Hear honking outside. Dad pulls up into old guy's driveway, comes and asks me if I'm okay. Tell him I'm fine, and that I'd rather him stay home since I don't feel safe alone after that. He says okay, and we go back to our house and check on the birds. All are okay except for the one that the ape thing used as a softball. Me and Dad put door back on hinge and go to sleep. Didn't see ape things again, but I can hear them yelling in the forest every once in a while. I would also find rotten fruit and small dead animals thrown over the fence all the time. I haven't seen them, but they're there for sure. That's it for the story though.